Hey there, everyone. It is Denise Salcedo. Welcome back to the channel. I am very excited to introduce to you my guest for today. My guest is challenging for the AEW Women's World Championship at AEW Revolution this Sunday. Ladies and gentlemen, La Mera Mera, Thunder Rosa. What's up, Thunder?
Nothing much, man. I'm mentally getting ready for this opportunity again. This will be my second time going to attempting to collect gold. This time with my arch enemy, the pompous. I can't stand her ass, Britt Baker, DMD, whatever her freaking name is. Yeah.
Oh, I cannot wait to get into Britt Baker and all of that because you guys have so much history. But before we go ahead and jump into that, I know you were just in LA for GCW and you're doing a lot of traveling. I've been, obviously following you for quite some time now and seeing everything that you're doing. Your schedule is so busy left and right. You're all over the place, not only managing your career and your brand, also running a promotion. So, with all of that being said, what is the day-to-day life like for you, Thunder Rosa?
Well, honestly, I wake up not today, but usually I wake up around 6:37 in the morning. I'm at the gym by 7:30, 8 in the morning. I get off and then come back home, take care of I run my business from home, so it's either doing content creation, helping Brian to do some of the stuff with because we run all our merchandise together too for Mission Pro and for ThunderRosa.net. Like just planning for stuff that we're working on. Like we're planning all these events that I'm doing on my own with Mission Pro Wrestling. So it's a lot, and then I have to like balance, being a wife too. So sometimes I have to take care of things that I have to do for my son. I have to take care of my personal stuff too, because as an athlete, as a high performance athlete, I have to make sure I take care of myself when I'm at home. And sometimes I'm only at home for like less than 24 hours. So I have to cramp everything in here and make sure I get it done. So it's difficult, honestly. Like a lot of people think and they like wish like, oh my God, I just want to get on the top and and all this stuff and and then when you're on top, you're like, Jesus Christ, how am I gonna manage this? So in the last 7 months, this is something that I've been dealing with in terms of like managing personal business and everything because everything is all together.
It's so wild because I see you and it's literally like go, go, go. And I've seen you, go to airport rides and you're always, up and energetic and ready to go. And we've been on the same flights before and I'm just like, dying. And so seeing you and you're like, woo, let's do this. Let's go out there. How do you keep, the motivation? How do you keep up the energy and all of that for so much travel and everything that you do?
I mean, this is just part of being a professional wrestler. And actually, my schedule is in comparison to other peers that work in other companies is a lot lighter. I mean, I choose to have it this way because I'm very driven and I can't stay home. If they say money, thunder is going over there.
You're like, peace, bye. I'll see you in a few
Yeah,
days.
I have really big goals. Like I said, like in the last 7 months, like my life has changed completely, and now I've been able to provide for my family something that I never even dream of. I'm like now able to fly my dad and my sister to come and see me at one of the shows, which I probably would have never thought I would be able to, afford. I live in a house now, and I used to live in an apartment with roommates forever. I had little to no privacy when I was growing up, so this is a big change. So and being able to maintain and work on something that I know I can do, like that's my drive force. And yeah, a lot of the times I'm tired and everything, but it's just like I'm like surrounded by uh pictures and stuff of all the stuff that I've gone through. So I'm like, this it is a good life. I'm able to enjoy it. I'm able to like now smell and breathe smell the roses, and like I like it. And then when I come home, I'm like I'm home. So it's now that's why I'm doing what I'm doing.
And you've had such a long journey. You've had a lot of work that you had to do. And like you mentioned, just because you did all of this work to get up into this point right now, that doesn't mean that the work is necessarily over. So, with all of that being said, do you feel that right now you're living the dream that you've kind of always wanted to?
I mean, yes and no, because there's always a lot more that you can do. But in a way, yes, because I mean I have everything that I've written in my magic book has been accomplished. There's a couple things that I want to do still. and personally. But now it's like, I guess like the things that I want to do are more like adventurous and more of a personal journey. Like I really want to do some traveling to Spain and do this pilgrimage to like really like thank God for, in life, for like the life that I've been able to live in the last 35 to 30, I'm going to turn 36 this year. And just to see what else is going to be, or what craziness I'm going to get into in the next couple of years, right? So yeah, I want to do stuff like that. I want to do stuff that are like that you can't really buy with money, but you have to experience yourself in just like, and I can't really take pictures of it. That's the kind of things that I want to start doing. More than partying, more than buying expensive stuff. I'm not a materialistic person, so I'm very like, yeah, I mean, you know me in a person,
Yes, yes.
pretty frugal. So those are the kind of memories that I want to start building, and I want to build with my family and my son, and I'm really excited because I know I'm gonna do it.
And I think those are definitely the things that when you look back in your life, you're like, yeah, like you're not going to ever remember the one thing that you bought. You're going to remember your trip to Spain, your trip to here, your trip to there, and all of that good stuff. So obviously, something that you definitely remember that I kind of want to go ahead and start talking about. So obviously, you're going in for the title, AEW Women's World Championship, and we kind of briefly mentioned your history with Britt Baker and everything that both of you guys have done. So let's go ahead and rewind back to the lights out match, because it was during that match that, kind of changed a lot of things. It went down as one of the biggest moments in AEW history. So that brings me to my question for you. Now that we're about a year removed away from that match, how significant was that particular match in your career? Would you say it was the most important match for you?
I have had other matches that have defined the moments in my career. I think at that point, that match defined the moment that I needed, because I capturing the NWA Women's title a year before that was what catapult me to be in an AEW and having a shot at the championship at All Out with Sheeta. But that match in particular, I think was the one who people were like, "Oh my God, Thunder Rosa can actually wrestle. Thunder Rosa can, like, we've seen her, but this is like there's levels of things that you can do." And I think that's the match that people will remember a lot, which I'm really grateful to at the same time. But I think it was important for both of us because our careers went in different ways. As she mentioned on that contract signing, that the only people that were talking about was her. Of course they were talking about her. She was a signed talent. I was not a signed talent. So there's a huge difference in where how our careers went in different ways. But I don't hang on to one thing. I'm always seeking for the next thrill. I'm seeking for the next big thing. And I've been doing that ever since. Every single match that I've had, I have elevated my opponent in one way or another. It doesn't have to be necessarily me being completely violent. I can get very violent. I have no problem. It's just like I've been able for the last year not only to show that I'm a great athlete, but also that I am not afraid of absolutely anybody. Then I'm always ready. And like everybody can tell you, I have shown at AEW that I'm a workhorse of that women's division. I have not stopped working ever since I captured the win that didn't count, which it doesn't matter. It's still like it counted for a lot of people that believed in, and I said it after the match, that believe that they never belonged somewhere, and that they took it and run away with it when people told them no. And that's exactly what I did, because the whole entire time before I got signed, so many people online and like comments and stuff, they told me that I didn't belong there. And right then and there, it didn't show that I belong at AEW. I showed that I belong in the business, which is the most important part. And I earned so much respect from so many other people that I never thought I did, and I would. And like I said, I continue to work towards becoming a better athlete, and also to become an example for the women inside and outside of All Elite Wrestling.
Now, there's so much that I want to touch on that because I feel like we can spiral off different topics. But I do have to ask you because, you mentioned all of the comments that you were getting where people saying, like, oh, Thunder Rosa doesn't belong here, et cetera, et cetera. And you also mentioned the fact that Britt's career went one way. Obviously, she won the title, and yours kind of went a different way. But with that being said, from a fan's perspective and someone that watches and follows the product and talks to the fans and all of that, one of the major things is that like Britt went off and did, her run as women's champion. But even with all of that, even through all of the different people that she worked with, all of the different opponents that she had, the fans knew that at the end of the day, the person that they not only wanted to see, but the person that should be challenging for that bout from Britt is you. So I know that you're now seeing, or you're possibly seeing, the difference now with how fans are reacting to you and your work. How does it make you feel now to see that the fans, they have your back and they're like, hey, like we want to see Thunder Rosa, challenge Britt Baker for the championship, and we want to see her win that championship.
I think what her fans have seen is like, I'm gonna take it back to like the story of not the story of the American dream, but the idea of the American dream. I live the American dream. Everything that I have, like you see all this stuff that I have, is because I have worked my ass off for it. Nothing, absolutely nothing has to be handed to me. Nothing. And they know, and I get so emotional because in LA, having girls that look like me, the brown girls, and like all types of girls that come and they say, I follow wrestling because you make me follow wrestling. You make me believe in wrestling. It's so important. And it's so important that people know that I'm real. And then what I'm doing is because I'm not doing just because I want to get a title or just because I want to get a paper saying my name, Thunder Rosa, that she's the best in the world. No, they know I'm doing this because I believe in this and because I believe in change. And even though like a lot of the times I'm not on the spotlight or on the big shows, being in like Elevation and Dark and the people like it's crazy. I still can't believe it. Like every time I come out and like people go nuts and I'm just like, oh, is this me? Is this happening for me? And it is happening for me. Again, it's because they see how real Thunder Rosa is and how she works for what she wants and she believes in what in what she's working for. Right. So I think that can make anybody a little scared and a little afraid because you can be under the spotlight, you can have all the accolades and you can have everything, but sometimes you can't have that emotional connection that other people have, and that's what makes your opponent dangerous because that you start getting people's heads. It's like, what is this that person has? She has nothing. Like she's just a song. That's the reason why people get so pumped up. No, it's not a song. I'm a whole vibe, bitch. A whole fucking vibe. And if you don't believe it, every single city I go to, it doesn't matter who is in there, like what the demographics are in that city. Thunder Rosa comes and they feel the thunder. It's like 100%. You felt it when I was in LA.
100%. And I felt it at different stages. I've seen it at Mission Pro. I just saw it just 2 nights ago over at GC, or last night at GCW. And it was like the second you walked in, it was just like this eruption. And throughout your entire match, people were hanging on to every move that you did, everything that your opponent did, etc. And obviously on the big stage on AEW, I've seen it there too. So it's one of those things where, personally, I feel that you connect with people because I feel like you wear your heart on your sleeve, that sort of thing. And so it makes people connect with you because regardless of what people's backgrounds are, they connect with you. And in some form or fashion, people connect with you.
Yeah, I mean that my story is a very it's not a cookie cutter story. Like I don't come from money. I don't come from, wrestling. I don't have a boyfriend or a husband that was in the business. It was like everything comes from me finding wrestling as a safe haven, and like something that it was written in my history that I didn't know. And the fact that I became successful in it is incredible because like all the odds were against me. My age, my racial background, the way that I talk, the way that my personal beliefs, because I'm very progressive. So a lot of the stuff are not necessarily like very liked in the professional wrestling business, probably like 10 years ago. But I whistle my way in like humidity, and I'm here right now talking to you about, you know, one of the biggest stages in the world, which is going to be Revolution. And I'm really proud because I've been in so many pay-per-views in the last year as an unsigned and signed talent. That just tells you the caliber of talent that I bring into AEW and just in general in professional wrestling. So I'm very, very proud of that. And like I said, people can say whatever they want, and they can try to put me down, and they can try to erase what I have, what I help create. Because, you know, people don't wrestle by themselves. They need somebody to create that. And like for me, I take it as a compliment, because I know that just like a lot of people probably ask her about the lights out match. It's like she's never gonna be able to get rid of me. She likes it or not, I win or lose. My name is still there. People are still gonna talk to her about the lights out match and how that changed her career. You know, and guess what? Thunder Rosa was in there. So yes, my name might not be on your award, but I damn help you to get where you were. And you know, it's people always make it about themselves. I didn't make it about me after that happened. I make it about every single person that was with me. Like I call them the Thunder Armies. Those that have, you know, that were in the past with me, that are no longer in this world, and the ones that are here that continue to follow me from day one until now. And they are just coming in numbers. And like I said, I am more than humble every time I go to every single different city, and a bigger stage or a small stage, and hear their stories. Little girls, little guys, you know, older men talking to me about how their moms love the wrestling because of me, and like women just in general in different ages. It's very powerful.
It is definitely powerful. And that's the cool thing, that I think that no matter what, you can always like carry that with you. So I do want to ask you, because, you know, we're talking about this lights out match. I want to ask you, how do you feel the growth of the AEW women's division has been since that match? Because not only did it elevate both you and Britt Baker, but it also, I think, shined a light on what women can do and what women can do in the ring, etc. So how do you feel about that?
um I'm very thankful that I was the one of the people chosen to do something like this. I honestly never thought that it will have the impact that it has had in not only AEW women's division, just and women's wrestling in general. I feel like that genre of wrestling has existed for a long time, and there's many women that have been part of it. Like the one that comes to my mind is Lufisto. She did a lot of hardcore matches, and I don't feel like because she wasn't at a big stage, she got the recognition that she deserved, because she's gone through hell and back to like, you know, have women's wrestling here. And there's so many other women in Japan. Like I've been studying a lot of those matches from like the 90s and the 80s. Like these women have been like doing it for a long time. But it just happened that I think the public was ready to see something like this in a mainstream place, and we were able to deliver. And I know that because of that, a lot of the girls in the well, not girls, the women in AEW felt that now this is the time for them to showcase a lot more that they can do. I mean, we can talk about another match that happened just on New Year's Eve with Bunny and Penelope and Tay and Anna Jay. They did a street match, and that's pretty violent and bloody. Um, so and like the risk that now we're taking, you see a lot of more DQ matches, a lot more of like street matches in AEW, and people are like, it's kind of weird because like now every time they see me is like, are you gonna bring a table? Are you gonna bring a chair? Where's the trash can? And I'm like, this is just in special occasions, homie. Calm down.
Yeah.
So just because I did it doesn't mean that I'm gonna do them all the time. I feel like it has to be a very special occasion, and it has to really tell a story for me to like, if I'm gonna pull something like that, it has to mean something. If I'm like, although like I break kayfabe a lot, but some of the times it's like psychology is so important to me in good storytelling. I think that's one of the things that I pride myself in when I wrestle men and women. You know, the build up of the story is so important for people to be drawn to it. And I think we are like demanding more stories for ourselves, that we're ready to work, and we want to put the work in, and that's the stuff that I hear a lot in the locker room at AEW. Like we are all ready to work, we're all ready to like make each other look good, and then we're all ready to to be part of the change of 2022.
And you can feel it. Like you can feel like the onboarding of that change. And I remember like even like immediately after that match, I do a post show. Everybody was just like in such a good mood because I think that's what your guys' match did. Like, not only did it change things for women's wrestling, but I think that it also made just the fans, regardless of gender, feel good. And like everybody wanted to talk about it and all of that. So, here's the thing that I do want to talk about because I think this is a important thing to talk about. And we mentioned the fact that you were not signed with AEW during that match. And it wasn't until months later that, your contract got bought out. Tony Khan bought out your NWA contract. And from there, you were brought into AEW full time. Now, I have not heard of anybody else getting their contract bought off by Tony Khan. You are the only person that I know of. So, with that being said, how does it make you feel that somebody said, especially somebody that owns a promotion and all of this, somebody like Tony Khan, to say, hey, I'm going to buy her contract out because I want her in my company, in my promotion? How does that make you feel?
Well, that just tells you that he believes in what I stand for, and what I bring to the table. I mean, so many women come through as extras, and so many other women that are, have been released from WWE or whatever have can have the opportunity to be signed. I was in a very particular predicament, and he saw what I was all about, and I think he, from moment one, he saw the talent that I display, and that I was hungry and I was ready to work with that match with Serena. After I had that match with Serena, she got signed, and I'm just like, damn, like that's gonna be how it's gonna go, because I'm not being able to,
Like
be.
the always the bridesmaid, never the bride type of
I know,
thing.
right? So, yeah, it was. I honestly thought I was gonna like let my contract run out, and then we were gonna see from there. But I think he saw the potential that Thunder Rosa brought to any company if you give her the airtime and the right stories, right? Um, I was very humbled when that happened, and when I received that email that they were offering me a contract for AEW. I prayed many many nights for that to happen, but I didn't think it was going to happen around my birthday. So is again, because of that reason I worked so hard, because I could be complacent and do half-ass matches and just like not work on myself. But because of that reason, because of how things have happened for me, it's continued to be a motivation for me to become a better athlete and a better women's wrestler everywhere I go. I think maybe I put too much pressure on myself, but I think if I don't do that, it just like it makes a disservice to what has happened to me, because there's a lot more younger people in the roster that can move a lot faster, that can, that have a lot more time on their hands. And I don't. I'm about to be 36. My body hurts a lot when I wrestle because I'm pretty physical, and I want to make sure that whatever time I have left in the ring, it's gonna be at my peak. Every year, I'm like getting better and better and better. I want to be like this Serena Williams of professional wrestling. The older she gets, the better that she gets, because that's what we do. It's like we've been working our whole lives to achieve something, and she worked since she was a little girl, and I worked when I was 14 to achieve like my dreams, and I haven't stopped working. So we're gonna do this until the wheels fall off, and I'm gonna be there and try to, in every single aspect, not only in the ring, but in every aspect that I'm allowed to, I will bring what I have to the women's division.
So, with that being said, let's say you win the title, you become AEW Women's World Champion. What do you think fans, well, first of all, what would it mean to you to win the title? And what do you think fans can expect from a women's division where Thunder Rosa is the face of that division?
I feel that when I win the title, like I always cry, even when I'm a heel. Like I'm the worst heel, but because like I get very emotional because of what it really means.
Yeah.
But I'm not a heel. I'm like, which is weird, because I'm like, how spicy and not love giving person I am sometimes. A baby face, and everybody, it just sometimes like, dude, I would say some stupid stuff, and then I know we still love you. I think when that happens, I don't know if you remember when Eddie Guerrero won the championship at
Yes.
California. I feel like it's gonna be very similar to that, or even bigger. Because this, when was the last time? I want to like, I really put this question. When was the last time that a Mexican-born wrestler wins a major title in a major company? Just imagine that,
Exactly.
and it's not only about being a Mexican, be a Latina. When is the last time that a Latina that not only represent his like Mexicanas, but it represents so many other countries? I cannot tell you how many different Nicaraguenses, Costa Ricans, Cubans, Puerto Ricans, like they step on my table and say, "You represent me," and that's huge. So just imagine when I am on my knees holding this thing, probably shaking after having a badass match, how many people are going to be crying at their homes with me of happiness? Because this is not only an achievement for Thunder Rosa and the Cervantes family. This is an achievement for so many people of color that struggle every single day in their own way to live their dreams. And they finally achieve them, like the major one, right? It's like when your kid go to college and he graduates and you work all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like the same thing. That will be my graduation from community college, which was NWA, now into a major for League University, right? So I'm seeing it as that, because like I remember when I graduated from UC Berkeley, I was a major cornerstone in my life. But this is like another type of, like, another side of my career. This will be a major cornerstone for my family, for everything. And like, and now my son can see it and be like, wow, like my mom came from nothing. He came from nothing too, when before I adopted him, um and struggling to like find money to buy food for their family. The same thing with me. I was working two jobs when I was 15 to feed my family because my parents lost their jobs. So it's like, that's the kind of stuff. And I'm like in a major stage with a big title. This is huge. It just means more than, like I said, the fame, the accolades. It means more than anything else. It's just, I I don't know. It's gonna be pretty major for me and for everybody else that has been with me in this journey.
And my second part to that question was, how do you think the women's division will be with you as like as the face of that
Oh,
division?
they get ready, ladies. Some of the matches that I have envisioned and some of the things that I would love to do. When I was an NWA champion, I was a fighting champion. Like I went out everywhere. I defended that thing during COVID times. I found a way to make it relevant. And I want the AEW women's division to be kind of like just like Kenny Omega was doing. I would love to do something like that. I think we haven't had a champion like that. And I think I have what it takes to be that. I have the grit, I have the determination, I have the consistency. Like I said, everything is developing with Thunder Rosa. Like a lot of people criticize me because they say I can't cut promos. You guys haven't seen the promos that I have cut, because like on TV, things get edited and things change. I've been working so hard at my English too, and my dictation, and my how smart I sound. I'm not cursing as much in Spanish. I can really, really, when my time comes, if like I said, when this in designer, when I become a champion, like I want you guys to see it. And like I said, it can be a coin toss too. So I'm prepared for everything. I'm prepared for success and I'm prepared for failure, because failure will prepare me for what the bigger thing is. But but I know I'm not gonna fail. But if that happens, believe me, this is not the last thing that you've seen of Thunder Rosa in or outside of the ring. It's just like, I'm always ready to win, but I'm also prepared for the unknown, and I want people to understand that it's so important. And I can all this interview I could have shed on Britt Baker, and like, yeah, whatever, like she can say whatever she wants. Like, I'm not worried about her. I like, that's the last of my thoughts right now. My thought is, when I achieve this, how am I gonna make the division completely different? What is the difference that I'm gonna make when I am become a leader of the locker room? A real leader. That's what I've been working on for the last 2 years. How to become a real leader that leads with passion, with compassion, that is ready to take on challenges, that is ready to build other people up, that is ready to represent this. I think this is the most important part. Represent others instead of just representing me as a doctor, as a this, as whatever. I am ready to represent the people. And like, I so many fans, like, they're funny. They call me the people's champ.
I love that.
You know,
Yes. Yes. Now you
and
just got to do the eyebrow.
and I am the people's champ. Like, I'm serious. Is that trademark? Because if it's not trademark, I'm probably gonna start using it.
Right? Exactly. Exactly. So,
Yeah.
okay. So I just have two more questions for you. Okay. I'm going to segue into Mission Pro because a lot of people, there's a lot of people that are always, talking about how they're going to change the business, but then, people don't always do something, right? But you're not only talking about the changing the business, you're doing something about it, with Mission Pro and all of that. So I do want to ask you, why do you do it? Like, why do you go out and you put all of this work into the company yourself and your team and your husband and everybody that helps you guys out with that?
I don't know. Sometimes I'm like sometimes I'm like, why am I doing this for? Like, is there something? But I remember, like, my media guy and I, my editor, we're like always getting into arguments, and like, Brian and Brian is my husband. Brian Rosa is my husband. Him and I, we've been running shows, independent shows, for over 6 years now. We started with one, it didn't work out, so we use all the stuff that didn't work out to make it work on Mission Pro Wrestling. And it was the right time at the very wrong place with the whole COVID situation and everything, where we made it work. But the difference is with what we do in other women's promotions is that we put our money where our, what is that saying
Your
called?
money, my money, your money where your mouth is.
Yes, exactly. That's what we have done in the last 2 years. We have been able to develop or help develop some talent, and like some of the talent that has worked with us, they work in AEW, they have worked in NWA, they have worked, in other companies, and it's because we believe in them. And when we see something, I have an eye for talent, like real talent, and then when they are willing to work, we invest in them. And I think that's what one thing that people didn't really do with me, because I have to find a way to do it for myself. But I see we're very given because of our social work background. Like, sometimes I'm like, why am I doing this? But we want to train, and we want to create another mentality, and where um we actually help each other out instead of tearing each other apart. And that's what when I first started in the business, that's a lot of what it was happening with me. Like, I was, outcasted. People didn't want to help me. People didn't like me. People distrusted me for some reason. I don't know. People doubted me. And like, I have to find my own journey, and I have to find my own way. And then when I felt that nobody was giving me a chance and I had a little bit of money, I said, I'm just going to do something that is going to change it, that is going to change the perspective of what women can do in this business. And we did. And Mission Pro has been running almost 2 years, very successfully. I can tell you that, we're not rich, but I'm not losing money, because everything we're investing it back to the talent, and they see that. So they are very, very helpful. And all the sponsors, like, we wouldn't be here if we didn't have sponsors, honestly. Like, sponsorship has been critical for the survival of Mission Pro. Women's wrestling is not cheap, first of all. And I mean, you've been in the house. Like, it's a house. It's like a sorority house. We all stay in the house for the weekend. Everybody gets fed a little or as much as we can offer, but it's like we take care of the talent. And like, you go to other promotions and you're on your own. But in this one, I want people to, like, when they're there, like, they can train, they can talk. If they're interested in doing something else that is not wrestling, it's welcome. And now this year, we're investing a little bit more in our presentation. Presentation is number one for anything, right? And we're moving into, like, really teaching the girls how to use cameras, cut promos, sell themselves, because that's what makes a difference. And like, now for independent talent is becoming a lot harder to get booked in major companies, because the talent that is being released, you're competing with talent that has been on TV. So who are they going to choose, you or the talent that was signed? So it's like, educating everyone. It's education is power. Education was power for me when I went to UC Berkeley, and like, how it opened my eyes to the American culture, because I was born and raised in Mexico, and the only thing I knew was like Mexican culture. But coming to a place and where everything changes, and your mind expands, I was like, wow. So this is what America really is like. And that's what I'm trying to teach the girls. This is what women's wrestling could be if you make it that way. But it's just like, it's just, hopefully they are receptive to what we're trying to teach. And it's like I said, it's my family, is my team, and we're bringing people that have knowledge in different aspects, and that's what we're trying to bring. And once, like, borders are starting opening up a little bit more, there's bigger things that we want to work on in terms of like some of the money that we can invest for some of this talent that have worked very, very hard in the last year. And then we know that they have the talent, but they don't have necessarily the means or somebody to like push them. That's what we're trying to do. And again, for me, traveling to Japan, Canada, England, and doing all these tours, Mexico, and doing all this on my own dime, it make a huge difference on how I am an athlete in the ring, because I can work any style with anyone, a man, women, transgender, it doesn't matter. I will work with anybody and we'll mesh and we'll have a great match. And I will like for those who are my mentees to be in the same training that I was, men and women. I have men and women. I've been taking people under our wing, and like I'm telling you, the Cervantes family, this house is our wrestling.
Yes.
We train in our garage, so it doesn't stop.
I love it. And that's the thing, like, hearing you say this from, somebody that's gotten a firsthand experience. I've done a couple of shows now with Mission Pro, but from like the first one that I did to the last one that I did, like immediately, like just within those couple of shows, I saw like this massive amount of like changes that were being done. Like you mentioned the presentation, like one day I show up and there's like all this stuff going on and I'm like, all right, like this is cool. Awesome. So like, it is really great to, see all of that. So Thunder, my last question for you is, we just started this year. We're, about to wrap up the second month, going into, March. In terms of goals for 2022.
Just March?
Yeah, tomorrow is March. Tomorrow. It's crazy.
Oh my God.
In terms of goals for you, for Mission Pro, whatever it may be, what do you plan for this year, or what do you hope happens this year?
I want to become a champion. I think number one, I want to become a champion. I have worked tirelessly to be a champion. I don't think there's a woman in any company that worked just as hard as I do to demonstrate why they should respect us and why we deserve a spot. And that's not my number one. I want to do that. I want to achieve that, and it's gonna happen on Sunday. So
let's do it. Yeah.
Another goal that I want to do this year is definitely, like I said, really have Mission Pro as a company where we create talent, not just an independent show. We really want to be that creates and helps develop talent in a way that has never been done before. There's so many opportunities to do stuff, and I feel like we are in a particular place in where we will be able to do that. I'm still working the details on how to do it, but it will happen. Mental health is it's so important to be like okay here, because you can be super successful, but it's just like you're crumbling down, and it just trickles down to everything you're trying to do. So just want to be okay, and I just want to feel normal, and I want to be happy. I think that's the most important part, because I can have all the money, all the fame, everything else, but if I'm not happy about that, it doesn't matter. And I, like, in the last couple of weeks, I've been doing a lot of work on myself, and I've been experiencing a lot of happiness when I come home, when I'm at work, when I'm in the ring, when I'm like saying hi to my fans. Like, I want to have that. I don't want to be an a-hole, because I'm always tired, and I'm like 50,000 people asking for an autograph. So I just want to have that, and I'm gonna be okay. But those are the main goals. I haven't checked on my books. I have a couple books, and I have a couple of other goals, but they're like very personal, financial, and spiritual.
Of course. Yeah, we all have those. Well, yeah. Thunder, like, I swear, it was so awesome to chat with you. I know I took up much more of your time than you were probably expecting, but I really do appreciate you and everything that you do. Last and final thing, if you want to plug anything, feel free to do so.
Yes, we have. If you guys don't know, this Sunday I have a humongous match in AEW and Revolution. That will be, you can get the pay-per-view, and Drago just opened the door. I'm like, there's like ghosts. Brian says hi. He's just really like doing this. And Bleacher Report, right? Bleacher Report.
Yes, Bleacher Report. Yes.
Bleacher Report. Yeah. I just want to make sure I said it right. And also, Denise is going to be at Mission Pro Wrestling on March 5th in Conroe, Texas. I won't be there, but I will be there in spirit. So those are the bigger things. And just don't forget to, if you are going to be in the Orlando area, we have a lot of activities for you guys. We have the Heels party. If you're part of the Heels group, I'm probably going to be there hanging out with you guys, all the women that are fans that are like the ones that I go for all the time. I want more female fans in professional wrestling. Then there's also a concert that Rokas is going to have, and he's opening up the concert with a Thunder Rosa song, Blood and Glory. So I might do a cameo there. I don't know. So we'll see. And yeah, don't forget to watch my vlogs. I have a vlog on YouTube on Saturdays and my taco vlog on Tuesdays. And I also, you can watch everything on, if you're a patron of mine, way before and unedited and uncut. I have a lot of cool stuff there. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And don't forget to watch AEW this Wednesday, this Monday, and Tuesday on YouTube. And Rampage on TNT. Wednesday is on TBS. And then the show on Sunday, which again, I want to thank all the fans, and I want to thank first and foremost AEW for giving me this opportunity again. I think I will not let you guys down. You guys are going to see a very, very, very violent Thunder Rosa once more, because he's been awoken again. And it started this Saturday. So
I can't wait for that. All of the links for all of everything that Thunder Rosa just mentioned will be in the description box below. But other than that, I thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Thunder Rosa. We'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.